If you've logged in, I'm sure all of you have logged in at this point. This is kind of the home screen and what you will see. This banner at the top may change, so don't if you log in one day and it's different, don't freak out that something's wrong. We just probably updated something. We have the event slider, so this will show you the next 8 events so far. I would think, yep, it's the next 8 events that are upcoming. And so that's kind of a cool way to just kind of get a snapshot of what's happening on campus right at the second in the next few hours or in the next few days, depending on the day or the week, how many things are happening in one day. Underneath that, we just have some basic buttons for students. A lot of these are in the UMSL app, so we wanted to make sure that they had those buttons here as well. So this will take you to the Sodexo website of what is open at the current moment. And then, sorry, I was opening my chat just in case and there's questions that come through. So that you can see what's open on campus as far as Sodexo is concerned. The shuttle tracker, this takes them to the same website the UMSL app does in regards to the shuttle tracker. This reserve space button will take them to the Millennium Student Center and Event Services space reservation system. So they'll just log in with their UMSL email and take it from there. And then Canvas login, of course. At the bottom, if you have any departmental friends that maybe their department isn't on Triton Connect yet, they can always just log in with their personal login, come down to the bottom and click this button right here. We'll open a Google form for them to fill out. It's a quick like 5 or 6 questions. It just helps me and my students set up the portal and all the information we need to know to get that going. So that's just kind of the general overview of the homepage. To access any portals that you're a part of, you'll click this groups button on the top. And then you can either search if it's not showing up, or it should show up right here under my groups. So you'll see right now at the top, I'm impersonating Louis Triton. So we're going to go into his portal of Louis Hangout. If you're an officer in a portal, it will always take you to this dashboard side of the platform. And so each of these tiles is basically just a different thing you can change, update, make your own on the back end of your group page. If you want to see what people looking at your department or organization's page are seeing, you can click this group page button. One thing to note about these tiles is you see up here it says recently used. So it will show the ones you've used recently, but if you want to review the rest of them, they're down here in no particular order, which can get confusing. If you're a person that associates colors well, the colorfulness will help. Like all the gray things are related to money. So this group page button, when you click it, it will take you to this view of what your page or your portal looks like. So you'll see it shows any upcoming events, any members that exist in the portal. Over here, it will show any officers that exist in the portal, what type of organization the portal is assigned to. So it will say department, office or department, recognized student organization, university sponsored student organization, or student-led program here. Then any badges that maybe exist for the portal will show up here. And then you can kind of flip through these different tabs at the top to look at different info. And if on this page you want to change something, the settings button right here will open more settings for this group page for you to edit. And so that's kind of the easiest way. One of the cool settings is you can make the about page, the landing page. So say maybe your office or student org doesn't host a lot of meetings that are like open to everyone. There's not a lot of events coming out of your page. And maybe you don't like none of your members have pictures. So this page right here isn't very entertaining to look at. You can make it so this is the page that it goes to. So then whatever information you add under general and contact info, that will show up there, and you can ensure that your officers have pictures so that this looks bright and fun. Then when anyone goes to your portal, it will just take them to this page that will show them your picture, your profile, your officers, general information, contact info, and you can beef this up a lot more than this one currently is. This one I just kind of have used for a sample site, so to show everyone around. If you go to this group page and you want to get back to those tiles, if you forget this button right here, this manage button will always take you to the dashboard button. But if you forget, you can always just click here. It will take you back to the dashboard. So first and foremost, officers, those are going to be the people that have access to change things or post things in your portal, like events. And so to add an officer, you're going to go to the officers tile and click add officer on the top right. When you start typing in someone's name, it will pop them up, and then you can just go ahead and select them. You can choose to notify them. So say you have a student worker at your front desk that you said, hey, I'm going to add you in. to our portal so you can create events. Once I add you, will you get started on that project? And then you're like, well, I'm super busy, so I'm just typing their name in this box really quick, and I might forget to tell them I added them. Just click notify them by email. Campus groups will send them an email. They'll say you've been added as an officer in this portal, and it will give them a link to click right into sign in to Triton Connect. So that's kind of a very helpful tool. If you maybe don't want to send an extra email after you do this step, it will send the email for you. And then you just click that add button. When you add someone, you have options to choose them as an active officer. That will be automatically checked when you add them. You can choose them to be the main contact for your page, and you can choose whether or not you want them to be visible publicly on your website. You also are able to assign positions. So for student organizations, we have our 3 preset positions right here: president, treasurer, faculty, staff advisor, and then just general officer if you guys want to assign them just as a general officer. Or more common for our office departments, offices and campus departments, is this custom position option. You can just go in and create a new custom position. You type in whatever you want here, click save. And then next time when you click custom position, it shows that option right there. So you can go ahead and assign them as that position. So a lot of you, if you're in an office portal, when I created the office portal based on what was submitted in that Google form, I went to your department's website on UMSL's webpage and looked up what your title was a lot of times, and then I just added it as a custom position and assigned it. So if you have a weird position, you're assigned a weird position in your portal and you're like, that's weird, how did that happen? It's probably because Michaela did it and I just was going off what the website says. Another really cool thing on here is you can assign permissions. So right next to this add officer button, there's this permissions button. This is helpful. For instance, my example, if you have a student worker that you want to be able to post events in here, but you don't want them to be able to change the settings, change who's a member, make a form, or see form submissions, things like that, you can go in here and you can uncheck anything you want. So manage officer settings, that would mean they can't change who has what permissions. They can't send emails. Maybe they can't create an event. Well, we need them to create an event, but we don't need them to do anything else. You can go through and uncheck all of these boxes or check as many boxes as you want to assign someone to be able to do things in your portal. So that's really helpful, particularly I would say for our offices and departments, because you may have a lot of hands in the pot in here to keep it kind of functioning, because this isn't going to be your office's main priority, we know. So maybe if everyone just has their one little slice of the pie that they're managing and Triton Connect, it can be helpful. And you can assign those permissions there. So members is similar to the officer page. You can add a member by clicking the blue button at the top. Essentially every page in Triton Connect, when you go to the tile, whatever that corresponding color is, there will be a button right here that says add, create, whatever the step is that you would want to do on that page, it has a button for that. So if you want to just add a member to your portal, you would just go in here, similarly to how you added an officer, you would just type in their name and it will pop up and you can notify them or not, and then click add and they will pop up in your members list. If you have a spreadsheet of people that are a part of your department, your college, your student organization, and you just want to upload them, on the left-hand menu, you'll see this upload members button. And they actually provide you with a spreadsheet format that you need to create in order to do this process of uploading members. Then it gives you step-by-step instructions, of how to do that and then upload it. And when you upload it, you see this preview upload button here. When it previews the upload, it checks to make sure and it lets you know this column was messed up or this looks weird, this isn't going right. So then you can go back to your spreadsheet, edit it, and re-upload that there. It also has allowed formats down here, things like that. And it has a link for support at campus groups if you're having problems with the importing of your members. So that can be very helpful if you already have like a solid list of who's a part of your organization. You can just upload it there. And this is like a little snapshot of the spreadsheet. I'm sure it's very small for you all on the Zoom call. But essentially all you need to know is their email in order to do that. And just a note on these, if you are going to upload them, everyone's email in the system is at system. So whoever is going to format this spreadsheet, if you're going to choose this option, would need to make everyone's email at system, their SSO at system. And then the other two orange boxes are the other required things. So in the member column, you put a 1 if they're a member, which everyone would be a member that you're uploading. And then if they're an officer, you can add a 1 in that column. It will automatically add them to your officer page as well. So it's kind of cool options with your members. Up next, events. Click the green tile. It will show you any events you have that are upcoming. It will show you any past events that have happened. And then you can go to create event to create a new event. You can create templates or you can have a blank template. If you guys have an event that happens every month or every week or something like that, I would highly suggest creating a template. I'll show you how to do that while we walk through this event process. But it's just helpful. For instance, my Wise Up Wednesday sessions I host for student organizations every other week. On our OSI portal, I have a template that's Wise Up Wednesday. So essentially it saves the event type, the event tags, the coordinator, and then you just have to edit like the name and the description and where and when it will be. And then it saves all the other settings down here, which I'll get into in a second. So this event form is pretty straightforward. You just basically fill in the blanks of what's required, check the settings of what's not. I like to say it's very simple, but the first time you do it, you may kind of get in the weeds checking through all of these different settings we have. But once you get the hang of it, it's definitely it's pretty breezy to go through here. So event type, we have all these different options here. If there's a specific event type that you think is not here that needs to be here, I can definitely add that based on suggestions. So for instance, this live music button, I met with the music department about 2 weeks ago and they're like, hey, it'd be really helpful if we had an option for concerts or live music. So we went ahead and added that because they're not the only people that host live music and concerts on campus, but it's going to be very helpful for them to promote. So we were able to add that event type. And so students are able to, well, anyone is able to, in the event page on the homepage, which I actually forgot to show you all. I will get back to that in 1 second. I'm so sorry. You can filter by event type and event tag. So it's really helpful. Event type is obviously required, but it's really helpful to also add these event tags because students will filter by them to find it. Our favorite tags in Office of Student Involvement are free event, free food, and giveaway and prizes. And I would say they're probably students' favorites as well, but we all know budgets are tight and we may not all have time to put together a giveaway or the money to put together a giveaway or have food at our event. But if you do have food at your event that's free for the taking, definitely click free food. It will bring people in. Drop-in event is helpful. Students may be just looking for something they can do on campus for like 5 minutes of their time, 10 minutes of their time. Maybe they just want to interact with someone today and they haven't got the chance. So they want to just drop in at an event. Definitely choose drop-in if your event is kind of come and go. If you're planning a History and Heritage Month, we have each of our History and Heritage Months listed as a tag. So you're able to go in and select that you're planning, for instance, an LGBTQ plus History Month event. And then when you all are telling your classes about events that we have for History and Heritage Months, you can direct them on the events page to filter by that tag. And then they're able to see every event that's planned that has that tag. If you have an event specifically for residential students, students in meadows, things like that, there's basically a tag for everything. If there's something missing, let us know. We can add it. The event coordinator is going to be who you want people to contact about the event. So maybe you do have your student worker or your student org president creating the event, but someone else in the organization or someone else in your office is the main point of contact. If you have multiple people in your portal, as you saw on the members page, Louis is the only person in here. When you click this drop down, it will show you any of the officers in your portal. So if your student worker is putting an event in for you and you need to be the main contact, they would just on this little drop down pick you as the event coordinator. Maybe you're the event coordinator, but you have some people working with you that could better answer questions or have more time to answer questions. You can always add team members in here. It'll pop up suggestions just as we did in the last few. Let's see, Jamie pops up right there. I can go ahead and click her. And then she'll show up there. And so when you add team members, you'll see down here, it says, how do you want your attendees to contact you? They can either start a group chat with the team or send an email to the event coordinator. So like I said, maybe if the team's a better option to answer questions for you, because you're the event coordinator and you're really busy planning the event, you can click this start a group chat with the organizing team, and then every person listed on this team members thing will get a chat notification that a group chat has been started. So that's very helpful if you have multiple people working with you on an event, so everyone can kind of keep in the know when the event's happening. This pops down a calendar, which is helpful to remember the date and the time, or the day and the date. You just select it, and then we'll put it in there. Change the start time based on these drop downs. You can change the time zone. And then you get to pick whether it's on campus, off campus, or an online only event. You'll see if I click online only, it disappears a bunch of information you don't need. And then you can choose who gets to see the event location. So that would be your meeting link. And then down here it has you add in your meeting link, and you can choose who the link is displayed to as well. And so if you do on campus or off campus, it has you enter the address and the location name. You can add the address and be very specific, or you can be even more specific and do latitude, longitude. Could be helpful for some of our campus buildings that are hard to find. And you can also choose to display a map on the registration page. Excuse me. For each event, you have the option to do a photo and a flyer. So let me actually just go back to this homepage. When you go to the events tab, this is going to be the normal view that pops up. It's going to be a list view. So the photo when you're creating an event, the photo is going to be what shows up here. It's also what's going to be shown in the event slider on the homepage. But there's also this calendar view that people can choose that shows up like a calendar. And then it lists the events similarly to how all of our Outlook calendars look. But when you hover over something that has a flyer attached with it, where did they go? Oh, there we go. None of these have flyers. There we go. This picture that's showing up on the screen right now underneath this help session, that's actually listed under the flyer. So the flyer when you're creating an event is always going to be the thing that will show up when they're hovering in this calendar view. I'm not sure how many people use the calendar view, but I like to use it in there just to make sure that wherever someone's looking, they're seeing it. And then underneath here, it has the dimensions for your photo that you need on this side, and the file or the flyer I meant would just be like an 8.5 by 11, or sometimes like on the Triton Connect Help Session one, I just uploaded the same photo on both. You can really do whatever you want. If you have specific food you're providing and you think it might like bring people there, or you have some dietary restrictions that people are very cautious about what food is provided at events they go to, you can go ahead and choose food provided and then add some details in there. Access and display options, you can choose who's allowed to register to your events. You can choose who can see your event. So everyone would be anyone on the internet. If someone goes to tritonconnect.umsl.edu and clicks events before clicking sign in, they'll be able to see your event if it's checked as everyone. Logged on is going to be just UMSL students, faculty, and staff. Group members will be just anyone in your portal. So in this instance, only Louis would be able to see his event. And then if you had selected a specific group of people up here and who's allowed to register, you could also do just the people who are allowed to register. Or you could put no one. So maybe you have I don't know why you would pick no one, but maybe you have, a good example, Triton Pantry, they don't post their events publicly on the calendar. They just use them on the back end for attendance tracking. So they always choose no one. And then on their portal, it says they have all these events, but on our calendar, we don't see any Triton Pantry events, except for the ones they specifically make public. But they have event every single time the Triton Pantry is open on their end that they can track attendance in. You can choose if you want people to be able to register or not to your event. And then you can choose an open and close time for your registration if that's necessary. You can limit how many people can attend. You can give people the option to tell you they're not attending. You can set a reminder. So this is automatically always checked to send a reminder to the guests when they register for the event. If you don't want that to go out, make sure you uncheck that. Same thing with this feedback request. It's always checked to send a feedback request 24 hours after your event. If you don't want that to happen, just go ahead and uncheck that. You can choose whether you want to display the list of attendees. So that would be anyone that's registered or checked into the event. It's always set to logged on users only. You can choose nobody. It would be weird, I think, to choose everyone. People that aren't logged into the UMSL portal don't need to know for sure who's going to what events. But there's pros and cons to both of being able to see the attendees and being able to not. You can choose what's best for your events. Advanced options. So Marsha, this attendance tracking option, I always, just to be safe, make sure it says activate RSVP at the door. and activate multiple, well, not activate multiple check-ins, sorry. Activate RSVP at the door. And then on this check-in method for the kiosk, that all sounds convoluted and weird. I would just put allow both methods to ensure that however I'm going to try and check someone in, it works. Then you can prevent rapid multiple check-ins within 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, things like that. That's all in the weeds. We're going to do more specific videos up on our OSI YouTube about specific things like this. So like event check-in processes, things like that. So if you have more in the weeds questions, let me know. I'll answer the questions for you, and then I'll know that it would be helpful to make a video about it. If you need more information from your attendees when they register, you go under the add more questions / slots button, and everything that's checked right now is going to be what shows up on there. So if you just need their email and their first and last name and maybe their account type, that will tell you if they're faculty, staff, or student. You can go ahead and uncheck the rest of these things. And then you can go in this column and make them ones that you need required. There we go. If you have a speaker, you can add like a little profile for your speaker there by clicking add speaker. Same thing with sponsors if that's important for the event. Redirect URL after registration. This can be helpful, for instance, if you're like selling tickets to an event, or you have, maybe you're hosting an event that you're making a Chipotle order for. You can put the Chipotle order form for the group order right here. You can put the link to that. And then when they click register and they fill out, they make sure their first, last name, and email is all right. It will take them to the next, when they click save, it will take them to this URL immediately after. So a good example, we probably will use this for the homecoming chili feed. Because you can register on here all you want for chili feed, but if you don't have a ticket, you wouldn't be able to get in for homecoming. So we can redirect them to Sodexo's website to buy those tickets right here. So then they click register, it will take them to Sodexo's website, and then on that website we can let them know like you must pay $5 for a ticket, things like that. So this can be helpful for a multitude of reasons. Those are just the examples I've thought of. You can have a parent event. So Marsha and Jamie, since you're both in College of Business, their ethics day, they have a parent event for that, and then all the individual sessions you all have are listed as separate events, but they list the parent event as the overarching ethics day event that's in your portal. So that means when someone on the event calendar would click on ethics day, it would show them like there's these 6 other events that are a part of ethics day, so they can kind of see how that breakdown works. You can automatically register people to other events based on if they attend this event. So for instance, with Wise Up Wednesday, on our student organization training and back in August, I put everyone that registered to that event would be automatically registered to every Wise Up Wednesday session I have this semester. So that means that 2 days before every Wise Up Wednesday, it automatically emails every single person who registered for student organization training, which was most of the student organization leaders. And it tells them Wise Up Wednesday is coming up. So for me, that prevents me having to be like, hey, just a reminder, we have Wise Up Wednesday and you have to attend this mini, because they're consistently getting emails from Triton Connect that the Wise Up Wednesday is coming up. So this can be helpful too, as if you have things that students are required to attend. If you have a waiver associated with your event, you can create a form on Triton Connect on your portal and then select it here, and then they would have to go in and fill out that waiver when they register. You can have a co-host. You just click these drop downs and then select who the co-host is, which is nice because there's a whole lot to scroll through unless you do. So office department, you can find yourselves or whoever else needs to be a part of that. If it's a service event, you can choose to have it listed under service events. Or service opportunities, you can filter by that on the events page. If it's a virtual fair, we don't use that so much, but then this event template is kind of what I was referring to at the beginning of this. If you want to make it an event template for the group, you just select this, and then when you click create, it will create the template. So one thing you don't want to do is go in, if it's just settings for a specific one event, you don't want to create a template. You want to do whatever the general settings would be for that event that's recurring, and then make the template and then go back in. And for the ones that are maybe a one-off that have different settings or need a URL, redirect, location, things like that, then you can edit those once you go back to the template and create the event. When I said recurring, I also realized I forgot to say underneath this when and where your event is happening. You can click recurring event settings and it pops up a whole calendar for you to select when the next meeting is. So maybe we have the third Sunday of every month. I can see that this is the third Sunday of every month. And then I think that was on the last setting. Yeah, so event template, if I create it for the group, and then if I click create, oh, I didn't put any of this in. Well, actually, I don't need to. Let me. So you saw when I went in to create the event originally, which I'll do it again. When I click this create event button, these Louis Hangout events template pops up. So if I selected that, it would duplicate the content of the last ones. I would add in a name and a description. It has the event type as social, labeled as a drop-in free event with free food. Coordinators, Louis Triton. This is the last one, so I can just go ahead and select the next one. Has all of these different details already put in there for me. All the settings are the same. And then I can just go click create event. And if I would have typed that in, then it would have just showed up on the event page as a new event. Once you have an event created, to record attendance, you will click into the event from this page. And then you'll see down here where it says attendees. Once people RSVP to your event, you could just search here. And if there was a list of people, you would be able to click check in. Or if they're not registered, you can click add attendees. You can start typing people's names. I can click Marsha. I can add multiple people. So maybe a group of 3 people showed up at the front door. So we're going to go ahead and add them all in at the same time. And then I'm going to RSVP them. And then you can choose right here, also marked as checked in. And then you can also send a notification if you want. And then you click add. And then it will show you that those 3 people attended down here. And it says registered and also checked in. On your event list, if you don't want to have someone sitting there checking everyone in that way, when you go to your events and it's in this list form, you'll see right under here under the edit and the settings button, there's this QR code. If you click on it, it takes you to this page. What our office has found is very helpful is we will save this as an image, and then we will go to our Canva account or wherever we created our poster for our event. We'll put this QR code on there. We have it in a clear poster frame sitting on the table where we normally do check-in. And then students are able to just come in to the event and scan this QR code with their phone and sign in. If they don't have the Triton Connect app, they can just scan this with their camera. It will redirect them to their Safari or Chrome, and they'll log into the website on the web version of the website on their phone. If they have the Triton Connect app, on the Triton Connect app, on the right-hand side, there's a button that says more, and it takes you kind of a menu screen. On that menu, there's a QR code scanner. So they just click QR code scanner, and they can scan this. And then since they're logged into their app, it will just automatically check them in as soon as they scan it. So that's the easiest way we found to do event check-in is to just print this QR code. If you don't want to do the Canva thing, you can literally just print this page and it will print the QR code out for you, and then you can just have it sitting on the table. But you can always, so Marsha, what you're going to want to do is click add attendees and start typing people's names, or you can paste the list if you want to like type it into a list. But then you would have to have their emails if you have those. They will have to be SSO at UM system if you're going to do the paste list. But you can also just start typing. It's pretty quick. I would do like 7 at a time maximum, so it doesn't like freeze out on you and then you have to go redo it. Also a note, if you're doing something on Triton Connect and you click add or save and it's giving you like a spinny wheel on this screen, most times because Triton Connect has a default to auto save, if you click out of it, it will save what you were doing. It just for some reason likes to do the spinny wheel, but normally that setting has been changed, whatever you were actively working on. What other things are important? A really cool feature of Triton Connect is you can send emails to anyone in your portal. So to do that, you'll go to the emails tile. You'll click this compose email. Like I said, every page basically has a tile that's a certain color. Once you click into it, there's a coordinating colored button. and that button is what will help you get to whatever you're probably trying to do. So you can choose who you're going to send your email to. There's obviously only one person in here. But you can select the officer. You can do all the officers in your portal, all the members in your portal. Or like over here, you can do more specific things. And then hit compose email. Then we'll take you to this page where you can either use the email composer. This looks like your Outlook email largely. You can add an attachment, type in the box, it will send an email. Right here, you can do an email builder. This one's kind of fun. You can add pictures and it just kind of sets everything up for you. So once you click email builder, it verifies that you have all the people you want in this list. You'll be able to scroll through them if there's a lot. You can CC people, you can BCC people. So for instance, whenever I send out a student organization announcement that's going to the presidents and treasurers, I'll BCC my supervisor just so she knows that that went out, because she's not automatically in the list of student org presidents and treasurers. And I'll CC, maybe if it's something about making reservations, I'll CC event services here, things like that. You can just edit all of those. You'll click the next bottom button on the bottom right. You choose a subject line. You can choose who it's from. Again, if you have multiple officers in your portal, you'll be able to select any of those officers. If you have a general email set up in the settings of your group page, you can also select that general email. So a lot of times we have our student involvement at umsl.edu set up in the OSI portal. You can do that under settings in your dashboard. You can select it here actually, so we'll just send from student involvement at umsl.edu. You can add an introduction if you would like, and then you would add any attachments you need there. And then you can select from any of these little templates. So they have some fun templates. We'll pick this one that has 2 columns, left sidebar. So then you'll see there's all these different boxes to edit. If you just click in this, it will pop open the image upload. If you want to link your image, you can add that there. Enter alternative text. To edit the text boxes, you click edit widget, and then it gives you all these text options to edit, which is very nice. Once you do all of that, you just click the next button. You also can drag any of these things over into the template. That's what I'm looking for. At any time and add those in. You'll click next. And then it takes you to this page that's called click boxes. So if you have an upcoming event that you want to add to the bottom of your email, you just select it here and then it will add it. I'll show you in the little preview section. If you have any forms or surveys in your portal, you can also add them here. If you want them to edit their be able to edit their profile easily, you could just add this edit profile button in there. And then once you select those check boxes, you again click next. You can also select none of them. You can schedule the email to be sent, or you can just send it. You can always send yourself a test email, or you can also just preview it first. And so you'll see these little click boxes showed up at the bottom, and then this would just take them right to the event on Triton Connect. And it shows you the subject, who it says it's from, when it was sent. You can kind of just review it to make sure everything looks good there. You just click close, takes you back to this page, and then you can just click save and send. You could save it as a draft, or you can always schedule it as well. Trying to think if there's anything I missed. We do have tracks and checklists options in here and badging. I know that a lot of campus departments are interested in tracks and checklists. College of Business, I know, has been working on one, and they have visions for a few. So those will be getting worked on. We will have specific videos posted about badging and tracks and checklists. So if you're very interested in that, let us know, and I will make sure you get that video link. All right. I think again, it's 1:40, so I did my 40-minute basics of Triton Connect. What questions do we have?
On the email list, Michaela, it's got like the members and officers, but then it had something to the right-hand side that said like contacts or other contacts. Is there a way to find out who they are?
Oh, yeah, that is kind of weird. So under members, obviously this takes you out of the little email, but you can go to contacts. And so I guess this is going to be anyone that has registered to your events in the past.
Okay.
It appears. I
But
will
it's,
say, I have already gotten complaints from students who um have um been a part of an organization's event that they've been checked into,
uh-huh,
and then they select other contacts and email them, and they're like, I didn't really want to sign up for every email they sent out.
uh-huh.
I just wanted to go to their event. So I would be cautious about how you use the other contacts, but
Okay,
this will be helpful, I know, for College of Business. You guys are having events that have alumni at them. Once they're checked into the event, it will probably list them under other contacts. So you guys will be able to include them in those emails you're sending out um that way. Good question. Hi, David. I'm so sorry. I did not know how long you were in the waiting room. I just looked over and saw that you were there. So if you were waiting for a very long time, I am so sorry.
No problem. No problem. I was late. I was very late. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, that makes me feel better because I was worried. Normally I have a program manager in here managing the chat in the waiting room, but he's doing another meeting that we had at the same time. So all right. So I basically
so,
went over the basics of Try and Connect, and now we're answering any questions. If you have any specific questions about Try and Connect, you've like found being in the system here and there, let me know. I can answer them, even if I already got to that in my training. So let me know any questions.
so if we use, I love the QR code, Michaela, on the table.
Yeah.
So if we do that and we get everybody checked in, then for the commuter cache, then
Mm-hmm.
they're already in the system. So
Yep.
would I need to drop them in somewhere else, or does that mean they're already in for commuter cache?
That means they're already in. So basically how Commuter Cache works is there's that event tag that says Commuter
Mhm.
Cache. And they went through, and any event that's tagged as Commuter Cache and they like approve it, they add it in their little Commuter Cache checklist. And basically the checklist says if they attended this event, if they were checked into this event, they get credit for it. And so as soon as they check into your event, it automatically gives them credit.
Okay. So what happens if I forget to just check it? Can I add it after the event set up?
The event tag.
Yeah, say I'm in a hurry when I first set up the event
Uh-huh.
and then add it later. Will it still work?
Yes, I think so. I don't know what their review process looks like for to make sure everything is a Commuter Cache event.
Okay.
But I would think yes, you could do that. I
Okay.
mean, not like if it's like November or April, maybe not, but
This is always on our flyers,
uh-huh.
but I've noticed, I think one time I've been in 2 or 3 events in at once.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, my eyes these days, sometimes I just get tired.
Right. No, there's a lot of settings to change when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's almost like I need to go back to this coming events page and just make sure all my little tabs like you have are just
Right.
all there.